watching Capital City Sunday.
Recent polling shows former President Donald Trump leading President Joe Biden in 4 out of 7 key states: Wisconsin, Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina. Trump also has the national lead in the latest poll from YouGov and CBS News. It shows Trump with a 5-point lead over Biden in a head-to-head matchup, 52% to 47%. The margin of error was less than 3%. Now that the Republican National Convention is over, Democrats are set to have their time in the spotlight for their convention on August 19th through the 22nd. With the presidential election just 108 days away, I had a chance to speak with Marquette Law School poll director Charles Franklin on how recent events will likely impact both candidates on the campaign trail. We saw President Joe Biden be called to leave the presidential race, and not that the situation can be compared, but now we see the first assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump, the first assassination attempt on a president in decades. How are we likely going to see these scenarios pan out for both candidates on the campaign trail?
Yeah, it has been an incredibly eventful 3 weeks since that first debate. And just in the last 72 hours, big events happening. Makes it hard to predict what the future holds. I think we can be very assured that Thursday night's acceptance speech by former President Trump will garner a huge television audience, and we will see how he presents himself and how he launches the rest of his campaign through that speech. Other unexpected events can still come, and we still have a Democratic convention to have in August. So I don't want to make distant predictions, but I do think that the greater attention to Trump's speech gives him both an opportunity and a risk in how he presents himself Thursday night.
I think there has been some speculation or calls from former President Donald Trump to get an endorsement from independent candidate Robert F. Kennedy. Robert F. Kennedy is obviously planning to be on the ground here in Wisconsin in the coming days. But I just want to get your perspective on what an endorsement from an independent candidate like Robert F. Kennedy would mean for a former president.
I think anything that reduces the impact of third-party candidates is probably a good thing for Trump. Primarily, what we've seen all year is that Kennedy is more appealing to Republicans than he is to Democrats. So to that extent, he has been a little bit of a threat and a reduction in Trump's vote going to Kennedy. A little bit more, 2 or 3 or 4 points more than goes to Biden. But Kennedy's support has fallen here in the state from 17% to 13% to 8%. In our June poll. So his support has been falling off. If he endorsed the Republican nominee, that would seem to be in effect taking himself out of the race. He's reported to have said he's not going to do that, but it would be quite a change to have him off the table, and an endorsement would seem to do that.
We are in the second day of the Republican National Convention. Obviously, Democratic delegates are on the ground here still trying to make the Democratic Party visible. We've also seen President Joe Biden's campaign very present here in Wisconsin as well. Are we seeing that kind of resonate with voters amidst kind of the city turning red this week?
Well, we're seeing a very close race here with both sides continuing to contest it. And so maybe the Republicans certainly are going to be more visible during this week, but all of the efforts at mobilizing voters, campaigning and advertising, as well as door knocking, I think that continues, and that's an area where Democrats have excelled in recent years. But we'll have to watch and see if they can continue that through the fall.
We had yet to see either one of these candidates communicate in going into this election, and honestly throughout the 10 years of both of their presidencies, and to see them communicate over the weekend, is that indication that there's a possibility that the tensions will subside as we kind of head into November?
I'd be surprised in the sense that the divisions in the country and the divisions between the candidates are long-standing. These are not things that are just coming about this year, but come out over the last 4, 5, 6, 8 years. So I don't think that much can change the way the election is set, or the way those issues or personal relations between Biden and Trump are set. I do think Trump's speech on Thursday night will be important to watch for what are the issues that he talks about, and are they any different than what he's talked about all year? And does he make direct appeals to some kind of reduction of tensions in the campaign? Or does he continue in attacking his opponent, which is, again, normal politics, but does it shift the tenor of the race? That, I think, is what we're looking for on Thursday night in Trump's speech.